Hey everyone, today we are running mono black aggro. The goal of the deck is to stay pretty low to the ground in terms of the mana curve and play a bunch of cheap creatures or not so cheap creatures with good utility and put pressure on our opponent, ably supported by a pretty competent removal suite. Ideally we get off to a fast start, and that can come in the form of Evolved Sleeper or Cult Conscript. The great thing about Conscript is that it can come back because everything else in the deck is a non-skeleton. Talking about things that come back, we also run Tenacious Underdog as well as Misery Shadow. In the 3-drop slot, we've got Graveyard Trespasser, Grixis, Yawgmoth Praetor, and Phyrexian Fleshgorger. Yes, I know Fleshgorger is technically 7 mana, but we're almost always playing this as a 3 mana creature. And then finally at the top, 4 Phyrexian Obliterators, to the shock of absolutely no one. Lots of mono red floating about at the moment, so this is going to do us a lot of work. With so many aggro decks out there at the moment, this deck has the potential to do a lot of damage. Think of it as the anti-aggro aggro deck. But will it actually perform well? Let's get into the games and find out. Okay, game 1 of today's video. We have lands, we have spells. 2 Phyrexian Obliterators isn't great to see in our opening hand, but we will keep it all the same. See what we can do. First game of the day means that my OBS is just warming up, so as is tradition really at this point, there's a 4th land. More than happy to swing in here. We'll also play Tenacious Underdog. If my opponent is on mono blue tempo, they're not, they're on Dimir. Okay, there's another land, not really what we wanted to see. There's Anoint with Affliction. Okay. Looks like it's Dimir Poison. The Tenacious Underdog got exiled, which isn't ideal. Okay, let's run out the first Phyrexian Obliterator. Or do I run out the Graveyard Trespasser instead? No, let's go with Phyrexian Obliterator. Simply because turn 5, if we draw a... Turn 5, if we draw a Graveyard Trespasser, we get to do all sorts of fun things. Okay, let's just go to combat here. I want to see what they do. Nothing. I think in that case, I keep the pressure up and just play a second one. They could have done something. Experimental Augury, looking for something good. Now, if I read Anoint with Affliction correctly, they can't target Phyrexian Obliterator. Now they can. They need a land, they need Anoint with Affliction, they don't get it. Okay. Down to 4, we'll play out the... I do want to play out the Graveyard Trespasser here. I want to put my opponent under pressure. 2 Vraska's Fall, 1 Afflict. Okay. Feeling pretty good at this point. They are digging. They need 2 removal spells. They don't find the 2 removal spells. Oh boy. Oh boy. That was a spicy meatball. Even though we drew nothing but land for the first couple of turns, the Phyrexian Obliterators just did too much. And that's a win for us. Going first. First check, 2 lands, check. It's a pretty good hand. I'm going to keep it. If we could draw the lands that we drew in our first game, even better. The thing about this deck is that you do need to hit your land drops on your first 4 turns. Now, we run 24 lands. And we have a 42% chance of drawing one on turn 2. If we don't draw a land, that goes up to about 43%. So using the power of probability, we should, I think it's about a 65% chance of drawing a land on our first 2 turns. If I have got that maths wrong, please correct me in the comments. But I think that's right. Okay, if they're playing Riveteer's Outlook, this could be many things. It could be Jund Reanimator, it could be Domain, it could be... It most likely has Titania and Soul of Windgrace. I'll say that much. I will just attack for one, and then follow up with the Misery Shadow. I do have Infernal Grasp here. I'd rather not use it. Okay. See what we do here. They're not going to do anything. I might make the Evolved Sleeper a 2/2 and play Misery Shadow. Yeah. And that is what I will do. Want to go wider than my opponent here. I don't really want to use my removal spells. Okay. Do I just cut this down? I think so. Cool. Yeah, I do save it. They probably have a cut down of their own. That's why they're hesitating. I think they might be wanting me to pump it first. No plans on pumping it. We'll play the Phyrexian Fleshgorger. Punish the fact our opponent's only on 2 lands. I feel bad for my opponent. I do feel bad for my opponent, but it happens to the best of us. And to the worst of us. And for those of us like me who are in the middle. Opponent going first. We have Evolved Sleeper and Misery Shadow. And the great thing about being mana flooded, if we do get mana flooded with this deck, is that we still have ways of using our mana. That's the great thing about these 2 cards. I'm going to keep, but drawing a 5th land would not be great. Could be Selesnya Toxic. It is Selesnya Toxic. Okay, there's a land. Let's see what happens. That is not ideal. There's Phyrexian Obliterator, however. See what we can get out of this. I think I do just have to kill the Skrelv here, which feels really bad. There's 2 options. I either play the Misery Shadow and keep up and keep up good defense, or I just Infernal Grasp, and I think I just have to Infernal Grasp. Life doesn't really matter for Selesnya Toxic. You have to go for the Skrelv, because otherwise it will use its own ability to protect the Venerated Rock Priest. Back up Skrelv, because why not? That is a cut down right on time. We have to use it. And we have to force them to use Tyvar's Stand here. No, you've got it. Yeah, cool. We will attack. We just need to put pressure on our opponent at this point. Yeah, like, there's only that one window. They'll play Tyvar Stand, they'll play Tamiyo's Safekeeping, but you've just got to do it there and then, because no good Selesnya Toxic player is ever going to give you a window. See, this for example, is not a window. Because now Skrelv is up. No blocks. I will go up to 5. Play the Phyrexian Obliterator. No attacks. Now, unfortunately, with Skrelv, what they can do is give something hexproof against black, and make it so that I also can't block black things for one creature. So what I would do if I was my opponent is I would just use Skrelv to give Slaughter Singer hexproof from black and swing in for 2. This is not looking good. Yeah, opponents figured it out. I don't think we can win, but let's try this anyway. Go to -2, force them to sack a creature. There is only one correct answer, and that is anything but Skrelv. We'll attack. Yeah, opponents figured it out. Yeah. Can't win them all. Can't win them all. That's why Selesnya Toxic's so good right now. It can just find ways to win. And yeah, I've done a video on it. I'm a big fan of the deck, and we're going to see a lot more of it in the future. Opponent goes first. We've got a very good hand that we are going to keep. Ideally, a Vol Sleeper into Tenacious Underdog is the move here. Looks like we are up against Rakdos. Does not have Cut Down or Voltage Surge on turn 1. The reason why I'm saying Voltage Surge is because my opponent most likely is playing the Only Cult Anvil variety of this deck. And Voltage Surge is the premier removal spell. But instead, looks like we might be up against Grixis. See what my opponent wants to do. If I want to trade, I'm happy to pump the Evolve Sleeper and then play out the Cult Conscript. See, this is the thing, is that if you don't play the land before you... If you don't play the land before you attack, you can make your opponent think that you don't have the land. That works. It does work, I promise you. There's Fable. See what they want to do here. Probably a block coming through. Nope. Sure thing. We'll play the Misery Shadow here because we want to give the ability to pump up. Also, can't gain life. Not gain life, but any creatures that die get exiled instead. What's the card where you can't gain life? I can't remember. But I get the two of them mixed up. Could see a Shieldred coming down. A Braid. Okay. Good thing is as well is that we do make our opponent think that we have nothing. Or we have Cut Down, sorry. And we do actually now have Cut Down. Alright, and now I'm going to play out both Tenacious Underdogs. We are flying right into the Brotherhood's End, the Belly of the Beast, Make Disappear. I'd rather they make disappear this than the Misery Shadow. I'll tell you that for free. Kind of given away that's what they've got. Either that or they're very good at masking their hand. Another Braid. Interesting. That is a prime cut down target, and I'll be very surprised if they have a way of protecting it that isn't Make Disappear. Alright, cool. I think what you can do there is you can also casualty a Make Disappear, which is why we needed to leave 4 mana up. You know what? I'm not going to blitz out the Tenacious Underdog. They're on 11, but they've clearly got so much they can do. And if they kill the Tenacious Underdog, go for the throat. Yeah, that's not a problem. Down to 9. We can now play the Misery Shadow, no problem. Can't Make Disappear that either. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. And we'll end the turn. Sure. Opponent now only has 1 card in hand. I mean, the good news for them is that they have a Goblin token still. And so if they draw a Phyrexian Fleshgorger, they probably win. Invoke Despair, sure. Well, we'll play another Tenacious Underdog. Sure. I mean, what could they have? Another Invoke Despair? That would be kind of sad. Down to 6. Shieldred. Okay. Wow, Shieldred. That's a very good draw. How can I win? I think the only way I win is if I I have to play the land. I have to blitz out the Tenacious Underdog. And kill myself. Yeah. Not today. Not today. It is what it is. Alright, opponent going first. We have a really good curve, so we're going to keep. Very interesting first few games here. But we're on game 5. If you're enjoying what you're seeing so far, please don't forget to leave a like on the video. It would help me out massively. And it supports content like this. Yeah, we'll attack. Yeah. Pump it up. Both players played that correctly. You do block there. I do pump. Wedding announcement. Sure thing. Yep. No intention of playing out the Misery Shadow. Great. I'd rather they use their lay down arms on that. See what they want to do here. They should block it. They will. I'll play out my Phyrexian Obliterator. Ambitious Farmhand has to come back into play tapped. There's another Plains. Another lay down arms would be very sad. Of course they have it. Double cut down. Okay. We'll attack. We'll evolve again. Yeah, the way they liberally played the first lay down arms, I had a very strong feeling that they would have a second. This is a 3-4. Yeah. It's actually going to be a 4-5, so I'm going to cut this down. The reason why I'm cutting it down now is that we have a 2-2 here, 4-5 here. They play another cheap creature.
This ends today.
And you let me keep... I'll try to see if I can kill the Eternal Wanderer here. Resolve. Activate his ability. Activate his ability. 2 lands. Does my opponent want to attack here? Third lay down arms. I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say. That's just an artifact, right? Yep, you got it. You've got it. I think that's game. Yeah, not today. Going first, we have some very good first 3 turns, so we're going to keep this. We'll go with the Evolved Sleeper on 1. Because we can pump it on 2 and play the Cult Conscript. Sure. Draw both Grixis, as is tradition. Fading Hope. That screams Fading Hope. Nope. Okay, consider then. Now the good news is, what on earth is in their hand? Oh, it's Simic. Or Simic. Let's see if we can get Yawgmoth Praetor down. This will get me disappeared, surely. Bring the ending. Yeah, it's Simic. Simic, I'm never entirely sure how to pronounce it. But good news is that we have another one. Yeah, I'm familiar with your game. I've done this before. see what they want to do. They'll probably block the Evolved Sleeper and use Tyvar's Stand. Premier Safekeeping, same thing. I'll pay the life. Cool. They're looking for Venerated Rock Priest at this point, right? Yeah, there it is. Combat Research, yeah. They do attack, which is about right. Need to get rid of that Venerated Rock Priest. Yeah. Swing in. I'll happily pay the life, because life doesn't matter. I'll go for the Throat this. Have to. You have to. Okay, good. There's Evolved Sleeper. There's Tenacious Underdog. There's no way you let me do that. If you can stop me. Yeah. I like Simic Toxic. I think there's definitely a build out there that can take advantage of, you know, Ivy and Venerated Rock Priest. I don't think Bring the Ending is good. I think that because you're playing March of Swelling Mist and what's the other one? Tyvar's Stand. You've got plenty of ways of protection. Tamio Safekeeping, maybe. It's a really interesting deck that has many ways of it being built, and I don't think we've found the best build for it yet. But it's there. It's out there. I guarantee it. Going first, yeah, that's unfortunate. 24 lands, I only have one in our opener. It very rarely happens in best of one, unless you're playing mono red and you are playing nothing but 1-drops, and you're on the draw, you don't keep this. So yeah, 1 mulligan. Down to 6, we ditch one of the Phyrexian Obliterators, but we go with this. Sequencing is going to be important. This is a more aggro list than the other black decks that you'll see, so we don't benefit from things like Invoke Despair and Sorin and Shieldred. They're all missing from this deck. Okay. Let's get in. Getting in, I'll play Lily. I'll +1 and discard a Swamp. What's my opponent doing? Shieldred Edict, I understand. There's Grixis command. Yeah, okay. There's Glisser. What does she do? Destroy target enchantments, remove up to 3 counters from target permanent. Okay. No attacks and pass. Oh, the Shielded Edict on Liliana is brutal, but it was still correct to play out Lily. Yeah. They'll pay a life and draw a card. I don't have any enchantments they can get rid of. You are kidding me. Sure. Gonna mill some things and bring back Lily. Archfiend of the Dross just ends the game. What can I do? I mean, this Takenuma is going to mill some things. There's Celestus. Yeah, I'll channel this. Bring back Liliana. Now you can sacrifice a creature. Alright. We are still in this until my opponent plays Archfiend of the Dross or Phyrexian Obliterator. Then we're dead. Yeah. I mean, good news, everyone. We can still chip our opponent. And we have Infernal Grasp as well. Okay. Okay. I'm not dead yet, sir. Sick. Please make a vampire. 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 Make a vampire! Yeah! Okay, okay. Still in it. Still in this game. Sure. I'll make a Graveyard Trespasser and a Misery Shadow here. We will get rid of no glitter for you. I will make a Misery Shadow. Okay. Still in the game. Go for the throat, sure. Probably have much more where that came from. This is like, I'm a big fan of this deck. Let me guess. Target player sacrifices a creature. Whoa, did not see that one coming. Okay. Let's go. Just gonna beat my opponent in the face. Go for the throat. Shieldred's Edict. Cut down. Tear asunder! It's so tragic. Mother Vampire, yay! Just gonna deal with this now. Still in it. Maybe not. Can't make a vampire. Next turn, they cannot make a vampire. That is very important. Takenuma. Would have held on to that Takenuma. Okay, 6. This is tragic. I can't play the Phyrexian Obliterator because they just force me to sacrifice it with Lily. Yeah, I think this is correct. It hurts. It really hurts. But that is correct, because I need to be able to play this Phyrexian Obliterator. And then I need to kill that Sorin. Like, my opponent has Invoke Despair, but I can't, I die to Invoke Despair anyway. And even if I go face, my opponent gains life with the Celestus. It's really grim. It's really grim. Back up Sorin. My only way of winning is that I need to draw a creature off the top. I don't. Nah, I think this is over. This is the problem with this deck, is that it gets off to a fast start, and if the opponent can deal with the fast start, then there's not a lot I can do. Yeah. Well, we knew they had it. We can't be mad. They play it. It was one of the first things they discarded with the first Liliana. Yeah, well played. Well played. Nothing wrong with that. Going first. Oh, that's a very reactive opening hand. The downside of playing 10 removal spells. I count Lily as a removal spell. This is a mulligan. This is much better. We'll keep 6. The question becomes, do we get rid of the cut down or do we get rid of a swamp? We're first, so we're going to get rid of the cut down. Hopefully, that doesn't come bite me on the bottom. Tenacious Underdog. I don't want to let them know that I already had one, so I'm going to play the one that I played from my hand. They can do something. What are they going to do? They're going to play Misery Shadow. There's a Gix. Gonna let me draw? No. Rather sensibly, they are going to block. I am going to obviously draw a card because I would like a way of getting a 4th swamp. Thank you very much. Like that. Now I could attack with Gix and Cult Conscript, but I'm not going to. I will, however, play that Phyrexian Obliterator, and next turn I've got a good turn with Tenacious Underdog and Misery Shadow. Okay. Ooh. My phone has a really bad thing where it insists that occasionally it needs to make an emergency call. I should really get that looked at. If I attack with everything, how are you going to respond, opponent? Still get the trigger. Still going to gain a draw card. Perfect. Opponent did miss a land drop, remember? So I am just going to do this. Gix has done its job. Cult Conscript has done its job. Nice Path of Peril. I wonder if they are Orzhov and they're just not finding any white stuff. That's dumb. Don't really mind Lily hanging around. There's a Takenuma. Cool. Yeah, I've got the win. I've got the win. Let me show you how. I play this my own Liliana. I sacrifice a creature. Yeah. And then I pump up Evolved Sleeper. And despite everything my opponent tried to do, I win. Yay! So at the beginning of this recording, I said that this is the anti-aggro deck, and I stand by that. The problem is that because this list is geared towards aggro, it kind of suffers against the rest of the meta, the mid-range, the control, things like that. And I think that I showed in today's video. I went 5 and 6 in the end. There were a couple of games that I didn't show today off camera simply because they weren't really worth showing. But if the format is aggro heavy, like Azorius Soldiers, like mono red aggro or other aggro, I think you can definitely play this deck, but only when the ladder is beginning to get overrun. I know that Mythic at the moment is full of soldiers, it's full of mono red. That's when you can play this. But I think for climbing, this might not be the best deck for you. I would recommend that you go more towards a mid-range shell. We've got Invoke Despair, we've got Sorin the Mirthless, we've got Shieldred the Apocalypse. All excellent mono black cards that I think you should definitely be playing in a mono black shell if you want to climb with mono black. To climb with mono black mid-range, then solidify yourself once the meta starts getting more aggressive with this sort of mono black aggro deck. Would be my personal recommendation. Is the deck fun to play? Yeah, I think the deck is fun to play. That's it from me today. If you do want to come to Mythic, I do recommend this mono red burn deck to help you fight through multiple popular deck archetypes at the moment. But I will see you tomorrow. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Bye bye.